More information now than you could possibly imagine. We got stacks of paperwork here, and we know exactly when these guys brush their teeth. So there's no secrets anymore. So you still got to be able to be deceptive and mix them up a little bit. And in the end, I think that when you see the pitch mix that he has, the stuff is still there. But you just basically have to say, okay, what am I doing now that's not working, that worked before, and then how do I sequence differently and make the adjustment to be more successful?
Way outside on the first pitch, the second, a 95-mile-an-hour fastball to even the count on Jackson Holliday as we get started right on time on a picture-perfect evening here in northern Ohio. 75 degrees outside, 20 minutes in front of 7 o'clock. Change up, backs Holliday away from the inside corner. Tony Mansolino was asked about Jackson Holliday as well and his mature approach and the walks that never really translate for guys into the big leagues because they're aggressive. That's it. Well, and it'll drop in front of Jones. A little bit of a stumble as he was on his approach. Decided to play it safely, pull up, and Jackson Holliday's got a leadoff knock.
I'm not sure if he saw it right away, but it was a nice little line drive, and Jackson was a little bit out in front. But in the end, we look at the good as it has been, and that could, again, whether it's location or sequencing, I'm not really sure what the difference maker is, and I'm quite sure that he really doesn't know either because he hasn't been able to make too many adjustments on it and get back to where he's more successful with that particular pitch.
There's one of those fastballs that we saw on the breakdown. StatCast 3D powered by Google Cloud. Strike one pitch to Jordan Westburg after the long hold by Bybee, and it tails down and away.
I thought what Mansolino said earlier was important. I'm glad you brought that up because I thought he explained it so well about how what young hitters have to do. They have to be able to prove they can hit pitches in the strike zone before the pitchers at the big league level will start pitching around them and maybe start getting a little bit more behind and not giving them pitches to hit early in the count. So one has to come before the other, and Jackson Holliday is trying to take advantage of that. One part is if they give me something to hit early, I'm going to go ahead and give it a swing.
Bybee concerned about the aggressiveness of the Orioles here. After another long hold, Holliday's got 9 stolen bases on the season. Westburg fouls it back, and it's 1 ball and 2 strikes.
A little bit of a shadow situation here with Bybee being in the shade, Westburg standing in the sun a little bit there, so that could be a little bit of a hindrance from for the hitters here early on.
That's fouled back under our feet. Stays 1 ball and 2 strikes on Westburg. Had a couple of base hits yesterday. O's are in the afterglow of a series finale victory against the Rays. They come in 10 games under the 500 mark at 44-54. This is a matchup, Dave, of 2 teams that went to the postseason last year. That smoke to the gap in left center field, down for a base hit. Quan will hustle over, cut it off quickly, and throw back to second. Well, he got to the gap in a hurry. That ball was rifled at 109 miles an hour off the bat of Jordan Westburg. And the first 2 are on with sharp base hits.
Yeah, absolutely torched on that. You see Henderson here on the pitch results, and I think in the end, most hitters are going to be this way if in fact that you get pitches down the success. When Bybee's throwing some strikes, he's hit the ball hard.
And you know what? If you look at that spray chart, if there was a pitch outside the zone, Gunnar Henderson hasn't gone after it.
Right.
If it's over the plate, he's hunting it, and he's been able to drive it. If it's away and he's baited by Bybee, he's spitting on it.
Yeah, we saw the 1 home run where he went the other way, so even if Bybee made a pretty good pitch away to him, Gunnar threw it over to left center field wall for a home run without trying to pull it. But yeah, taking the pitches that are not strikes are really important, especially at this level.
It's been a big month and a half for Henderson, and he'll drive home the game's first run. Streaking around third, Holliday will truck to the plate. There will be no throw from Martinez. It's an RBI single for Gunnar Henderson, and it's 1-0 after the Orioles string together 3 consecutive base hits.
Sometimes it's not as hard how hard you hit it. Of course, we saw Westburg scorch that line drive for a base hit, and then Henderson just hits about a 5 or 6 hopper right up the middle, and it gets through for the base hit to score the first run.
No chance for Schneemann or Rocchio And no chance to get Holiday, who scores easily, cruising in from second. On the corners, nobody out. Here's Ryan O'Hearn. Played up in the middle by the shortstop, Brian Rocchio. Dozen homers, 36 driven in. His 12th yesterday in the scorching heat in Tampa. It's only about a 20-degree difference between one game and the next.
Actually, what I mentioned earlier to you about an hour and a half ago, I'm like, am I going to need some type of like sweatshirt or something? This is crazy.
It's July 21st and you're thinking about extra threads.
I was really happy O'Hearn went to the All-Star game. I was so excited for him.
How great is that? I mean, he is still bubbly about it. Popped him up. Short left center field. Back goes Rocchio. Kwan coming in. The shortstop taking charge. And no chance for Westberg to do anything with it away from third base. There's one down. Does that linger with a player? Guys that you've interacted with, can it carry from not only the All-Star break and the build-up to get there, but then kind of the lingering effects?
I think guys are going to handle it differently, and everybody will, of course, but because in the end, that's over. Even though it was a great, honor, he's really, he's playing for, his job next year. He wants to put numbers up on the board. So, in the end, after he had a really good first half, it's about what have you done for me lately? So he's got to go out and the rest of July and August and September continue to do the things he's capable of doing. You can't sit back and rest on your laurels there because, you hit 197 the rest of the way, and then you basically threw away your statistics for the first half.
Laureano comes up empty. Strike one on Ramon, who returns to the lineup after being ejected by James Floyd for the second time this year. That was in yesterday's tilt. Did get a couple of at-bats yesterday at the start of the game. He was frustrated with the strikeout. Henderson takes off. Laureano cuts through it on a bounce, not nearly in time. Naylor's throw late as Gunnar gets his 13th stolen base of the year.
I was going to say right before he took off I wasn't sure whether they would send him or not because you kind of have Bobby on the ropes a little bit. You can see there he got a good jump, makes a good slide, and beats the throw fairly easily. But you sure don't want to get thrown out there and kind of knock down the inning a little bit. And here Laureano, of course, before Gunnar went to second, you still had an opportunity to get another run in without the benefit of a base hit. But now, of course, he's even in a better situation.
And the Guardians are thinking along the same lines. Keep this a one-run difference. They bring the infield in. And Laureano fouls it. Back over the screen. This is such a trend now in the game, bringing the infield in. Here we are in the top of the first inning. And an opponent is playing for one run.
I just always liked the fact that as a pitcher, I wanted him to beat me. I hated conceding the run early because it's early. It's like, yeah, well, what if we don't score anymore? So I always felt that as a pitcher, bring the infield in, and if they hit it right at somebody, we save a run. If they hit it past somebody, well, you're going to give them the run anyway. So I always felt it put a little bit more pressure on the hitter just being in, even though if they hit the ball hard somewhere, they have a better chance of getting a hit.
2 in scoring position for the Birds here in the first. And Laureano shoots it right back up the middle. Base hit into center field. Westberg touches the plate. Henderson coming down the line. A 2-run base hit by Ramon Laureano with the infield drawn in. He bounds it through, plating a pair, and it's 3-0 here in the first.
And, of course, the difference maker there is Gunnar stealing second because if it's first and third still, they're playing double play depth, and that could have been a double play ball. So you see here, Laureano stays right down on it, hits the ball hard. That was his job. Hit the ball hard somewhere. You can't necessarily always control exactly where it goes, but he just stayed up the middle on it, and with the shortstop being in, that was able to get by him easily. So scores 2 runs and gets the Birds 2 more runs there to start off with a 3-0 lead.
4 of the first 5 have collected base hits within the first 19 pitches off of Tanner Bybee. And it's 3-0. Carl A base hit to lead it off. Westberg rips one into left center. Henderson makes it 1-0 with his RBI single. And then Ramon Laureano, right after Henderson swipes the bag, drives home a pair. Sixth hitter of the first, Colton Cowser. Laureano juking away from first. Cowser hits it on 2 hops. Schneemann a long throw to get one. Return to first, out of the reach of Santana. And Colton is safely aboard at first base. And without the double play, extending the inning. And that tag just for good measure. Just making sure Cowser didn't take a juke, turn the wrong way over at first base.
You see Laureano trying to stay on the outside part there so he can kind of stay in the lane a little bit to not give the shortstop a clear angle to throw the ball to first base. I think Cowser was going to beat it out anyway, but that's what you want to do, kind of get your base path. As a runner, you get to make your own base path based on where you start, and he did a nice job staying on the outside part.
Cowser takes off on the first move and gets to second uncontested. He's 5 for 5 in stolen bases. Well, it looks like they want to run on Josh Naylor, or Bo Naylor. Josh's brother is now in Arizona. Bo behind the plate. O's threatening again. And O'Neill looks at a fastball called strike. Chatting with Stephen Vogt, second-year manager of Cleveland. Ask about, the differences. If you change a manager, does a team take on a different identity? The thing that he mentioned right away today, they're more aggressive on the bases. Tony's got them in motion way more. Sweeper down and away, and it's 1 ball and 2 strikes on O'Neill. Towards third. Ramirez, corner to corner, just in time to beat O'Neill to get the out and retire the side. But what a start for the O's to get in. They've been playing better baseball, winning 8 of the last 10 most recently after just a demoralizing 10-game slide that put really how the course of their season now is very much in jeopardy from being somebody that thinks about contending in the American League Central Division to perhaps helping other ball clubs.
You go on a 10-game slide right in the middle of the season, and that changes a lot of things for your ball club for that particular year.
So Tomoyuki Sugano getting the ball tonight against the Guardians. Second ever matchup against Cleveland. And Kwan takes low. Sugano falls behind, 2 balls and 1 strike. There's a good look at Stephen Vogt. Manager of the year in the American League after his ball club had a 16-game improvement from the 2023 campaign to taking home the Central Division with 92 victories last year. Cutter upstairs from Sugano, make 3 balls and 1 strike. There's the pennant, hanging proudly at the revamped Progressive Field. When's the last time you were in here?
Oh, it's been a couple years, I think.
Please tell me it wasn't municipal the last time. Okay.
No. It's been longer than I thought, though, because I was talking to Tom Hamilton, and we referenced something that I asked him a question about, and I realized it was like about 6 years ago. I thought it was like 2 years ago, so it's crazy.
O's just got a 3-0 lead, and Sugano walks the leadoff man. Looking for a little crisper of a start, dealing with Angel Martinez, who is red hot right now. 11 of his last 13 hits have gone for extra bases. His bat has earned him playing time. Pulls it sharply foul. It falls behind on Sugano. No balls and 2 strikes.
Well, I know Sugano wasn't trying to walk Kwan, but look, the guy's a good hitter. To me, it's even more reason to throw him strikes, because, especially when they can run a little bit, because, well, why walk him? At least make him earn it. I mean, he's a good hitter as it is. Throw the ball for the plate. Maybe he'll hit it right at somebody. And with a 3-run lead, you definitely won't want to walk the leadoff guy.
Kwan is basically a 280 hitter no matter which season. If you look at his track record, he's got good speed, but he doesn't hit the ball out of the ballpark. And It's hard to find anybody in this lineup right now that hits the ball out of the ballpark, not named Jose Ramirez.
Not a lot of pop there. No.
Martinez scolds that one to right field. He'll continue to wave the magic wand. That ball was hit so hard on the fly, Kwan had to play it safely. Let's go around the diamond and take a look at the O's defensively. We'll start at third base with Jordan Westburg, Gunnar Henderson on the left side of the diamond, Jackson Holliday and Ryan O'Hearn at second and first base. And then in the outfield, Ramon Laureano, Cedric Mullins, and Tyler O'Neill. Alex Jackson catching back-to-back ball games. After yesterday in the heat, probably breathing a little easier today. It was a 95-degree first pitch yesterday, 75 degrees today, and completely different when it comes to the humidity.
You don't get better baseball other than what we have right now.
Not a cloud in the sky. Sun pouring down at the start of this one. First and second for the Guardians, and the dangerous Jose Ramirez at the plate. Jose, 32 years old, with 274 career home runs. A 280 hitter, a 131 OPS plus. 2 balls and 1 strike. And this is the more dangerous side as well. Switch hitter facing the right-hander in Sugano, where 15 of the 19 home runs have been cracked.
Yeah, 2-1. He's just sitting. He's probably sitting on one particular pitch or one location, something he can turn on and give it a rip.
And he rips it down the right field line, screaming towards the high wall to tie the game. Sat on it, grip it, rip it. Number 20 knots this game 3-3.
Yeah, going in as a hitter when you know the guy doesn't have the fastball that he can throw by you, then you just get a little bit more comfortable. And righty against lefty, and you talked about the left side being his better side there. Yeah, he gets a pitch up in the zone. He just doesn't. Again, he doesn't miss it because he's probably looking for one particular spot or even one particular pitch. And a hitter as good as he is, they're not going to miss him very often.
Another left-handed stick, and Kyle Mazzardo Starts with a good fastball at 94 miles an hour, and that's exactly where the fastball velocity was on the Ramirez home run. But the Guardians, they weren't shying away with the game plan with Sagano. They wanted to see splitters up in the zone and hunt the fastball, and when they got fastballs, try not to miss them. There's a fastball out to center field and off the wall. Luzardo trucking into second base with his 12th double of the year.
There's a difference between fastballs and even if the velocity is the same, you have perceived velocity, the difference in what other pitches the pitcher might have that you have to be looking for. So, yeah, just because it's a 94, for some guys 94 is overpowering, but for other guys 94 is very hittable because the hitters see the ball better out of the hand, and again, if they're not looking for necessarily a particular pitch, or because a guy may not have particular great command, and clearly right now Sagano doesn't have very good command because he's missing up in the zone with some fastballs, and even some pitches that we saw there were out of the strike zone, but it was up, and they looked like he was just sitting on that pitch.
Carlos Santana looks at a heater for a called strike. A 5-pitch walk, a base hit, and then Jose Ramirez with a 3-run homer. And Mazzardo follows with a double, and the go-ahead run for Cleveland threatens.
And when I say perceived velocity, what I mean by that is that how the hitter perceives that pitch. Sometimes, as I said, 94 from one guy, and the hitters just don't pick it up, and they react to it like it's 96, 97, 98. Other guys will throw a 94, and because the hitters see it so well out of the hand, then all of a sudden it almost kind of feels to the hitter that it's a low, maybe even 89 to 91 mile an hour fastball, even though the velocity is actually the same on the radar gun. So there's more to it than just the velo.
Early struggles for Sagano this season. All 17 runs earned in the first.
Well, the home run's a big thing for him, too. He's given up a bunch of home runs. And a home run, if they're solo shot, you can give up 2 or 3 solo shots every game and win a whole bunch of games throughout your career. But if you're giving up home runs after you've given up a leadoff walk and a base hit, then it doesn't go so well.
Ramirez with his 20th of the year. Got the Guardians on the board. He's been able to strike early for Cleveland. 7 of Cleveland's 11 home runs in the first inning from Jose Ramirez. He is such a good player. Runner at second, still nobody out. Santana running it back here to Cleveland. Henderson goes out. Laureano coming in and calling. And there's out number 1. Oh, look at Tomoyuki Sagano rocking the Dave Johnson.
He's got the stash going.
Yeah. Come out of the All-Star
He's
break
having
with
the same success I had. He might want to shave that.
That's not true. You were successful today. I know it.
Well, maybe today, but I didn't pitch well against Cleveland. I don't know if I ever pitched well against Cleveland.
Were they one of those teams?
Yeah, it was, and they weren't great back then. But they were not a team that I had success against. Corey Snyder used to wear me out. I mean, it was other guys, but in particular in Cleveland, he wore me out.
He's the one guy you're going to pick on today, huh? Curveball tapped into the glove held by Jackson. No balls and 2 strikes on Nolan Jones. Cleveland got him in 2016 out of high school in the second round. Made his debut 3 seasons ago, was traded to Colorado and then traded back to Cleveland. Sagano misses with a 4-seamer. Tony Mansolino looking on. Drew French off his right shoulder, the pitching coach. Sagano trying to keep it 3-3. And he gets the strike on the inside corner. Jones goes down looking. That's a nice way to do it. Get the punch out.
Well located there, and you can throw the fastball We'll see if it catches the corner or not. Oh, yeah. Comes back a little bit. That's a great pitch. So, in an inning where he hasn't made a lot of them, that was definitely a big one right there.
After the Manzardo double, 2 down. And a ball that gets away from Jackson. And Manzardo will hustle over to third. Be a wild pitch on Tomoyuki. Jackson was really good over the weekend blocking balls right off the chest towards the middle, and that one just kind of shot off to his right.
Yeah, hit him on the thumb on his catcher's mitt there. That's why it deflected off to his right.
Steven with a liner, speared by Henderson. He smoked that ball in the middle of the diamond. Henderson bolt. Beautiful night here in Cleveland. Lengthy first inning, 6 combined runs. Orioles on the board first. Gunnar Henderson and Ramon Laureano driving home runs. It'll go 8-9-1, starting with Cedric Mullins. Went 1 for 4 yesterday in the victory. Third baseman is creeping in as Mullins had an idea and put himself in the hole 0-2. That'll back up Jose Ramirez as Tanner Bybee gets locked in at the plate. And Mullins pops it up. And a foul ground. Santana taking charge. Makes it look routine and quickly went away. Orioles did a pretty good job against Bybee in the first inning, even when they fell behind. 2-strike approach against Bybee. Another 2-strike out, and the first pitch. It looked like it had the plate. Favorable for Alex Jackson. Now 21 extra base hits in his major league career. Yesterday, his first home run as an Oriole. Scalds one towards the corner. The Gold Glover Kwan reaching out and running it down. What an explosive jump by Stephen Kwan, robbing Alex Jackson of extra bases in the left field corner.
That ball's hooking down the line, too. Kwan just basically outruns it. He just gets a good jump. And as that ball's going away from him, and he simply, being left-handed, of course, helps him a little bit, but he outruns it and makes a really good play there.
Bybee loves it. Two down for the top of the card. And Jackson Holiday will take ball one just off the inside corner. Three consecutive gold gloves for Stephen Kwan. Three full seasons in the major leagues, Kwan has grabbed 3 gold gloves. It's hard to do, especially for a young player, especially in this league. Fastball on the inside corner, it's 2-1. Kwan became the 5th player ever to do that. Went 3 straight gold gloves with Johnny Bench, Charles Johnson, Nolan Arenado, and Ichiro Suzuki. Two Hopper backing up Schneemann at second. Plays it over to first, and it's a 1-2-3 second for the Orioles. We stay live. We do this every pregame, kind of searching for the third member of our crew.
Where's Waldo?
Yeah. Where's Rob Long?
Oh, man.
Are you part of the not whole gang?
Now,
peeking through that right there?
Yes, here's the deal. On this box right here that I'm pointing to on the other side of it is a print of the baseball that hit it once. And it hit it so hard you can see the stitches on this box as well. So I'm protecting myself. There was a throw that the Cleveland Guardians made that I thought was going to skip into this little camera well area. At that time, Ramon Urias looked at me and said, if we do that, do your job. Get it, throw it, run her out.
I mean, you've got an in-the-action seat most times anyway, so you might as well pick up the ball and play along.
I will say this, though. This is probably
your front line of defense.
Best seat I've ever had at a baseball game.
Yeah, you look pretty comfortable down there.
I'm pretty comfortable, man. I got snacks, too.
Liner up the middle, and Brian Arocchio starts off the second with a leadoff knock for Cleveland. All right, let's check out this. This was hazard pay. The shortstop with Rocchio out of the reach of Carlos Santana.
Yeah. At this moment, I stood up and got out of the way. I did. I stood up and got out of the way. And Arias looked at me and put his arms up like this. If we do that, do your job. Throw the runner out.
So you stood up and got out of the way, or you stood up and
screamed,
hid behind something and screamed like a little girl?
Yeah, no, I mean, the scream that I let out would be an insult to little girls.
From now on,
I like the honesty.
Well, it's you, Dave. If I said anything else, you would know I'm lying.
Former college baseball player, Rob Long. But you know what? They always say that about us in the booth. They're like, why didn't you catch it? You were a baseball player. I'm like, I don't have a glove right now in the booth. Neither did you, right?
Are we making Baltimore City Community College?
We're throwing that out there.
We're just not making them proud right now.
Well, again, when we played for Baltimore City Community College, we had gloves.
There you go. We were younger.
There you go.
Look at that. Oh, look at that. You were bailing early.
Wait a minute. I hate cameras.
Oh, camera never lies.
Yeah,
you weren't even hanging in there.
That's Sully. That's got to be Sully.
Bo Naylor slaps it out of play. Stays 0-2 on the number 9 hitter. Well, while you guys talk about your letter jackets, Bo Naylor bats with a runner at first base in a 3-3 game. Orioles manufactured their 3 runs. Jose Ramirez drilled a 3-run homer to tie it up. And Naylor takes a little bit high. We're settling in for the first of 4. Under the lights on Tuesday and Wednesday. Daytime baseball then on Thursday. That'll conclude the 7-game road trip for the Birds out of the All-Star break. Zagano misses with a splitter up and out. Back at home and try to get it going against the Rockies. Good lead at first. Runner stays, and it's ripped up the right field line. O'Neill turns around, and it's off the top of the wall. It'll stay in play. Rocchio got a pretty good read on it. He'll dash into third on the long wall ball base hit by Bo Naylor.
I thought he may have got fooled a little bit on this, but he ended up hitting the sweet spot of the bat. So you see the swing here. So, yeah, he was kind of fooled. He actually had to go out and get that ball. It was on the outer part of the plate, but he hooks it there where the right fielder's head there. O'Neill has to wait for it to come off the wall. But like you said, Rocchio read it really well and was on his way to third base.
Nobody out, top of the card for Stephen Kwan. Worked a leadoff walk his first time up. Nobody out, first and third. And now Kwan asks for time. Two balls and no strikes. It's a tough guy to get a strikeout too. With a runner at third, really difficult. Came in with exactly 2,300 plate appearances and a total in his career of 220 strikeouts. And now he's in front, 3 balls and no strikes. There's the whiff rate and how difficult it is. A guy that's won a batting title in both leagues is the only one better than Luis Arraez.
What's crazy is how much better he is.
That'll keep him at the plate. Angel Martinez out on deck. Off the plate. Second 5-pitch walk. Now you're in the danger zone, too. A red-hot hitter coming to the plate. Nobody out. And the base is loaded. It'll prompt a visit by pitching coach Drew French.
He simply just doesn't have very good command tonight. And against a couple of these hitters, especially Kwan, who has such a great eye, it's not going to work, especially if you get behind. So he's just kind of digging himself a hole. And even when he's got ahead of some guys, he hasn't been able to put them away.
to calm me down. Oh, you're another kind.
Good returns early in the career for Martinez, including a grand slam. He's got 9 home runs on the year. He homered yesterday against the Athletics, but also had his manager raving about his continued improvement and plate discipline on the left side of the plate when he singled. He said, everybody can swing big, but it's trying to come up with a base hit and be timely and do your job with an approach. It really impressed him. In and out of the skillet of Jackson, but over for a called strike. He's 23 years old. That's fouled away. A vicious hack. Dan Bellino, the crew chief behind the plate, bore the brunt of that one.
He needs to make a pitch here. You can see him. Martinez comes out of his shoes there, a little cutter in on the hands. He needs to make a pitch here. Strikeout's better, but really a strikeout or a double play, even though you might give up a run on the double play, or you're going to if you hit it out to second or short. But you need to get 2 outs or you need to get a strikeout.
It's open towards the middle with Holiday expecting more of a pull. And now we have a strike violation. Wow. Oh, no, wait. It's not a strike, it's a ball violation. And Drew French is going to replay the timer, too. Now Sagano steps off. Where the buzzer goes, you better be in motion, and easy read. So it's a 2-2, and it stays 2 balls and 2 strikes. Bases loaded. Sagano looking for something on the ground. Well, that's almost as good.
Yeah, as
a pop-up on the diamond. Infield fly after Holiday got settled underneath it.
Definitely as good as a strikeout right there. So now the double play gets him out of some big-time trouble.
So 1 down, bases still loaded. You said big-time trouble?
Big time.
That guy in the batter's box right there. Dave Sagano trouble his first time up. A 3-run home run for his 20th of the year. And he popped him up on the first pitch. Backpedaling, Westberg's underneath it. And there are 2 down. Well, all right.
Alrighty.
What's next in the bag of tricks?
Got to finish it off, though. Can't allow that 2-out, especially with Kwan at first base. You get a 2-out double, they're scoring 3. So bear down right here. Get ahead. If they're going to be aggressive, swing at that first pitch, make a quality pitch.
Just off the outside corner. One for 8 with a couple of RBIs. Manzardo on the season with 37. Doubled in the first and was left at third. Look at this. A flip to first, and Houdini gets out of the jam. How about that? Base. coming to the plate, second after Jordan Westberg leads it off against Tanner Bybee as we move into the third. Orioles had 4 hits in their first 5 men coming to the plate. In that first inning, the Orioles swung at 14 of the 24 pitches from Bybee. Is that because of what Bybee was throwing or what the Orioles were looking for and getting it?
Well, a combination of all that, I would assume, but I wasn't in the team meetings before, so I don't know exactly what their game plan coming in was.
Chases the cutter and goes down on strikes. There's one away.
But in the first inning, it worked, that's for sure.
Bybee gets his first strikeout of the night. Now it's time for Oriole Insights, presented by PNC Bank. Brilliantly boring since 1865. Gunnar Henderson already 1 for 1, driving home a run and plating a run. He has had so much success against Cleveland in his career with some very notable names. Down to a knee. Schneemann stops it, clanks off his body, recovers, and they're quickly 2 down. So that won't pad the stats for Gunnar Henderson, but Bybee likes it. Getting a quick out on a dangerous batter. There's Rhino Hearn. Popped up to the shortstop his first time up. Goes with a changeup and falls behind. O'Hearn with one of the 3 home runs yesterday in the win over the Rays. Now with a dozen on the season, driving home 36. Takes it towards third, backing up Ramirez. Nice defensive play. And a stretch by Santana, and he can't corral it. Ramirez frustrated at the tail end of that, and Santana saying, that's my bad. Maybe fighting the sun a little bit towards the tail end of that play?
Not really sure. I know it is over there on an angle there, and they are in the sunlight. Ramirez was throwing it from the shade there. Well, okay, he was actually deep enough where he was in the sun, but Santana's not the greatest defensive first baseman over there.
The ball going into the dirt like that didn't allow the glove to close, and it just rattled around and fell to the turf.
That's why you run them out. You never know.
See if the 2-out opportunity can get cashed in. The react by Ramirez. After that difficult play, that was not an easy one. Handled on the backhand behind himself. 1-0 to Laureano. That's outside.
Yeah, he was kind of in deep shortstop there where you backhanded that ball, so it was a long throw. He kind of just nonchalantly threw it over there, though. The bottom fell out of it.
Two-0 coming. And it's past the cut of Laureano. Big gap in right center between Jones and Martinez. And it's 2 balls and 2 strikes. There's how the Guardians move the defense. Quan now a couple of strides to his left. O'Hearn the runner at first. Yeah, Laureano battles.
That sun may have been giving Santana a little bit of trouble because if you'll notice, when he's holding the runner on there, O'Hearn at first base, he's actually got his right hand up over top trying to shield the sun. So this time he's not doing it, but he did it the last 2 pitches.
Yeah, bright sliver of sunshine coming over the right side. Whoa! Look at that ball soaring to Souvenir City. Ramon Laureano's the visitor, and it's a 2-out, 2-run bomb by Laureano.
Yeah, the way this game was going, I'm like, boy, the Orioles really need to take advantage of that error right there. With 2 outs, it's not easy to do. Of course, you got to hit a double and probably have to hit a triple or a home run to score O'Hearn from first base. And Laureano, of course, after swinging mightily twice and coming up empty early in the count, did not come up empty there.
During the 4-game losing streak, the Orioles only had 5 combined runs. They had 5 on the board yesterday in the win. They have equaled that in their first 3 trips to the plate today in Cleveland. Laureano has driven home 4 of the 5. Curveball over for a called strike on Colton Cowser. Number 12 on the season, an absolute no-doubter. Ramirez thinking about that, so is Santana. Should have been out number 3, but it went in and out of the glove of Santana. And it's over for strike 3 on Cowser. He's down looking. Well, Ramon Laureano made it 3-0 with a 2-run single in the first inning. How about Jose Ramirez had a 3-run homer in the first inning. It looked like Cleveland was marching towards a big second after back-to-back base hits, and then a walk to Stephen Kwan loaded him up. But then a pair popped up and a comebacker at Zagano out of the jam.
A little magic act right there.
In the air out to right. O'Neill sprinting forward into the sunshine, gets there in time, and there's one down. What Cleveland did offensively against Zagano back in the second inning, they loaded the bases within 19 pitches, and it looked dire. But Zagano and Cleveland kind of took him off the hook, much to the surprise of Stephen Vogt, who watched the 3 outs get recorded within 4 pitches. Curveball missed outside. That's ball 1 on Nolan Jones. Do you think he's looking at the defensive play or the way that he was pitched? Towards the line of the corner, Laureano sprinting. Westberg going back from third, and nobody can get it.
When I looked at the swings on the pop-ups, I mean, they really came out of their shoes on those pitches too when they swung. Fortunately, they came up empty because they popped them up, but they really had some strong hacks at those pitches.
Yeah, some of the biggest swings were from Angel Martinez. He was licking his chops with the bases loaded.
He had a couple pitches down and in that he ripped foul. Hit really hard.
Jones struck out looking his first time against Sagano. Had an idea, lays off the curve in the dirt. Martinez on the far end of the dugout and on the Cleveland side. 2-1. Bounced away foul. It's 2 balls and 2 strikes. Sagano's last time out against the New York Mets. A lot of RBIs to Juan Soto and Francisco Lindor. Those had to play some catch-up that day against New York on the back half of the doubleheader. Alex Jackson had an RBI double. Jordan Westbrook hit a go-ahead 2-run home run. And eventually, the Birds picked up a 7-3 win and went on to sweep their twin bill over the Mets. Big cut and a miss. Oh, and held by Jackson. Jones looked back like that wasn't going to be strike 3, but the umpire nodding up and down. Both strikeouts for Sagano against Nolan Jones.
He keeps the ball down here, and you see that ball has a little run on it. And he held on. It's a foul tip, but he held on to it. Might have got him on the thumb a little bit there. Might have got Jackson on the thumb. It looked almost like it hurt him pretty good. But he survived it.
That's one thing to kind of grab a pitch and have it glance off the thumb. It's another to have it fouled down onto the thumb because it really puts a lot of torque.
And you're not, you have no way to react, obviously, from the time you foul it off and catch it is a millisecond. So, yeah, it just kind of hits you in a way that you weren't expecting it.
Sagano in front 0-2. Out of the wind is Schneemann. And he backs him away with a fastball.
He's been trying to make him uncomfortable. He's pitched in quite a bit tonight so far, even though it's real early in the games. A bunch of times he just hasn't had great command. Sometimes you're trying to get them to move their feet a little bit. Sometimes you're trying to hit a spot in there.
Bends him at the belt. Evens the count at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Two coming. That's the splitter. It fades outside. That hasn't been the sharpest pitch for him tonight.
No, he's not had very good command with that. The fastball has been up for the most part. He's got away with some of them, but yeah, he just has not had really good command with his pitches.
A fastball just missed inside. Sagano thought he had strike 3 and left in disbelief.
When I saw Sagano pitch in spring training, well, he'll get a look here. Well, here's the pitch is called for outside. And even though it looks like on the pitch tracks, it actually does grab a little piece of the corner. But when the catcher has to reach across, sometimes it appears to the umpire that pitch is not a strike, even though it might be.
Sinker fouled away by Schneemann.
But as I get back to talking about Sagano in spring training, he was so impressive. Pinpoint command with every pitch he threw. I was like, wow, this is going to be a lot of fun to watch. This year, he just really has not carried that in. I mean, there's been times and innings here and there, but throughout the course of even any one full game, he just has not had the type of command that I thought and that I saw in spring training.
0-2 on Brian Rocchio. There's Schneemann away at first after working the 2-out walk. Has there been a difference from spring training and watching Sagano? That's a wild one right into the number of Rocchio. Well, one look says it all, too, from Sagano.
I just have the feeling that he's not trusting his stuff to the point to where if he makes those same quality pitches that he made in Japan, that he would be successful here. There you go. How about that? Like almost right in the middle of the back. But I said earlier in the earlier at bat there, when he walked Schneemann, that he was missing inside, righty to the lefty, pulling that fastball across. And that's actually hard to do. And typically you lose it arm side, but he's actually pulling that ball across and hitting some and being close to hitting some of those left-handed batters.
Borderline pitch worked against him with the walk. His wildness. Plunks Rocchio, and now Bo Naylor gets the first pitch, strike one.
So I'm just wondering if the command's not there because he's just trying to be too fine and maybe trying to throw the fastball with a little bit extra instead of just understanding that 93, 94 in the right spot with a little bit of movement is better.
That's towards the corner. Laureano will give it a look, but it's a section deep into the seats. 10 days in between his last outing ahead of the All-Star break, then, of course, the 4-day layoff that bulked up the distance in between. But it's been 10 days in between appearances.
And I don't know what he did. Did he throw it all during the All-Star break? Did he have a really good, long, lengthy workout in there somewhere along the way and maybe do a little touch and feel there also? I don't know because we weren't with the club during the All-Star break. So that being the case, as a veteran, I'm sure he knows what he usually does or what usually works for him to be able to stay sharp.
Orioles have really put an emphasis into giving him extra time in between outings. He dropped it on the bottom bar of the zone. A sweeper freezes Naylor for strike three. Sagano finally got the man looking. Leaves a cut. I'm Ben Wagner. We're through three, where it's 5-3, O's on top. Last third of the lineup against Tanner Bybee. He flips the first curveball to Tyler O'Neill. O'Neill bounced out to third, his first time up. Looks like a sweeper that had every bit of the strike box. Bybee's reaction was like, anybody going to yell?
So what's your thoughts on the pitch tracks? You like it?
They would have been tapping the hat right there.
See, I watched the All-Star game. I still don't get it. Why? If you have the technology to get the pitch correct, why would you not use it? just makes no sense to me.
I like the challenge system more than the automatic wait on whatever, however they're going to do it. It's a really hard job, first and foremost. Got to say that.
It's very difficult. Yeah.
Especially with the velocity and the movement that guys have now. 1-2 to O'Neill, hit hard, and a diving grab at short by Rocchio. Pops up, makes the throw to first, in time to get the out. What a play at short by Brian Rocchio.
Yeah, has to lay out to his right and catches it on the short hop. And is able to get up. There you see it was on the short hop. He's able to get up and knows he's just got to get rid of it quickly. And the throw's not necessarily on the money, but it's on the money enough to where Santana can stretch out there. He sees that ball's going to tail away from him, shuffles his feet over to the inside part of the bag, and is able to stretch out there and catch that ball for the out. Good footwork there by Santana.
I wonder if Rocchio in the back of his mind, too, is saying, keep the ball low, make sure it's out of that sunshine. Mullins vaults it high in the air over the diamond. Santana halfway down the line. And there are two down. Well, coming up in a couple of days on Friday, the O's at home against the Rockies. Orioles.com/tickets. Tell you what, in Cleveland, with the team's color scheme plus all the new blue seats here, an Orioles fan pops out. You're really easy to find. It's a pretty sneaky trip for an Oriole fan, too. If you've got some flexibility here in the work week and you want to play hooky, hop in the car in about 5.5 hours. You're here.
It's actually a very easy drive. I know that from experience.
See, we can find everybody. One, down and away. 2 balls and a strike on Alex Jackson. How is your experience driving? Are you talking about your golf drive? Like how many 3-woods it takes to get here?
I don't have a 3-wood. I got a lot of woods, but I don't have a 3-wood.
Hop in the car. It's an easier way to do things if you don't want to worry about, packing your golf clubs, let's say. You want to get a couple of rounds in early in the morning before you come to the ballpark.
Well, you could do that. You could leave Baltimore before rush hour, and you got plenty of time to get here and get around in before you come to the ballpark.
Yeah, it's 3 balls and 2 strikes on Alex Jackson. See, we see all those orange and black speckles all over the ballpark. Really tough assignment for you. 75 degrees in your golf clubs. Okay. They pay you to be here?
It's not just a job.
That's fouled back. You might be back on the clock here with that foul ball coming back your way.
I was able to hit the links with Dave Ford, former Oriole pitcher, former first-rounder for the Oriole back in 1975.
That's tapped off and held by Naylor. So 1-2-3 frame turned in by Bybee. Midway through.
up a run. That was huge.
Cleveland loaded the bases within the span of 19 pitches off of Sagano. He escapes. I mean, he was walking the razor's edge, but escapes, getting all 3 outs within the span of 4 pitches. Top of the card for Cleveland, leading it off in the home 4th inning, where it's 5-3 Orioles. Big day for Ramon Laureano. A 2-run base hit and a 2-run home run. On his walk, both times he's been at the plate. And his foul ball evens the count at 1 ball and 1 strike. Third time facing the veteran right-hander, Tomoyuki Sagano.
Well, as I said, a guy that can run like Quan and the type of eye that he has, you might as well throw the ball over the plate and make him hit it. See if he'll hit it at somebody.
Might as well slow himself down while doing so, too. Foul it off his body.
It doesn't matter how fast you run. You can't steal first. So, in the end, if you throw him 3 strikes before you throw him 4 balls, then he's got to do something with at least one of those. And in the end, as I said, a pretty good hitter, 280, but that means he gets out over 70% of the time. So you got to throw that ball over the plate and give him an opportunity to get himself out.
1-2. Pulled to the right side. Holiday shuffles over and retires Quan for the first time tonight. In partnership with Tower Federal Credit Union, all veterans and active military members will receive a /tickets to ensure the veteran in your life can get a complimentary cap. I know where one is residing right now in northern Indiana. My father is a veteran of the United States Army, and his very first visit to Camden Yards,
Oh, nice.
I nabbed him one of those caps, courtesy of Tower Federal Credit Union. So thanks to those great folks. He has breakfast with about, it's a floating number, between like 4 and 6 different guys every Friday morning, around like 6:30 in the morning, like old guy time. And he probably walked in to breakfast with me, and he was wearing that cap. And one by one around the table, hey, where'd you get that cap? That's different looking. What is that? And he just pointed right at me across the table. He said, the guy eating the pancakes right there hooked me up with this sharp, brand new Orioles cap. Usually he wears a standard orange and black one,
Right.
especially during baseball season. So it's a head turner. 0-2 to Martinez. Bounce a curveball in.
Well, my dad would have proudly wore one of those hats, that's for sure. He was a hat wearer. And of course, a long time ago, they didn't have all those promos, but now they have all kinds of great promos.
Mm-hmm.
All kind of swag to wear.
Swing at the splitter. And he'll complete the strikeout for Sagano with a chuck down to first. Or strikeout for Tomoyuki.
There you see the replay here. Good splitter. Great downward action. Jackson able to kind of smother it there, keep it in front. Come up, make a strong throw to first. 2 outs.
Talk about a rebound, the way this game started. A leadoff walk, 3 consecutive hits. And since then, Cleveland's gone 2 for 13. That's smoked. And right up the arm of O'Hearn, and it shoots into right field. Sharp ground ball, couldn't get corralled. And another 2-out base runner for Cleveland.
Yeah, I know O'Hearn feels he should have had that ball. That ball just kind of rode right up his arm there, though. Probably bounces a little bit further out in front of him. Yep, it kind of came up on him a little bit. You saw he kept the glove down, because you always say the infielders all the time, stay down, stay down. He kept his glove on the ground, and the ball kind of hopped up right up over his glove.
Sinker low from Sagano on Kyle Mazzardo. Flash foul. Loud contact, but a foul ball. Evens the count of 1 ball and 1 strike.
They've had a bunch of those loud contacts, left-handers pulling the ball. Way foul, though. None of them have really been close to being fair, I guess, other than the home run for Ramirez. That stayed fair. But after that, actually, a lot of them pulled real far foul. Sagano's missing a little bit further in on those pitches if he's trying to go in. That way, if they do hit it, very difficult to keep it fair.
And a move to first. Ramirez with 29 stolen bases. Is one of 2 switch hitters in Major League history that have over 250 home runs and over 250 stolen bases in their career. Only 2 guys have been able to do it. Still keeping an eye on him after all these years. And Sagano's behind 3 balls and a strike at the plate. Really lengthy first inning. Bases loaded jam, ratcheted up the pitch count in the second. Trying to get it back on track. And this is with a cutter. And more traffic for the right-hander to contend with 2 down.
We could have done without that. But he got behind and he didn't want to just serve something in there.
And Corbin Martin is starting to loosen. Saw Tony Mansolino motion with his fingers. Get out there and chat. You know, it's an interesting way that he kind of gestured, pointing off to what would be our right, his left. He's certainly concerned about something. Now the concern, the 2 runners on. Ramirez, the lead runner at second. Manzardo, who just walked, aboard at first. Carlos Santana takes low and away. Most of the pop is a left-handed hitter for Santana. Sagano trying to stay away, but falls behind 2 balls and no strikes.
Don't give in here. Make a pitch.
And he steps off. Mentioned Santana's running it back. His first 8 years of his 15 Major League year career spent here in Cleveland. He's back again playing first. And he lines a base hit into right field. Ramirez around third. O'Neill with the throw to the plate. It's up the line. Headed towards her. The throw down to the bag. Not in time. Manzardo sneaks the extra 90 feet with the throw go to the plate. Cleveland's back on the board with the RBI single from Carlos Santana, and we've got a 1-run game.
It doesn't matter a bunch with 2 outs because you still got to get a hit to score the runner from third, but with O'Neill going home on that and allowing the runner to go to third, Clearly, it keeps him from, a wild pitch or something like that to score a run, because he wasn't going to throw out the runner. He wasn't going to throw out Ramirez at home.
Santana drives home his 43rd of the season, and that'll knock out Tomoyuki Sagano here in the 4th inning. That air pro. In his second go-around, being added to the active roster.
Well, just the success has not translated at the big league level for him. Been with a couple different big league organizations, and in the big leagues for a little bit of time. But he's got a big arm, so the Orioles hoping to kind of catch lightning in a bottle here at some point in time. Sometimes that the proverbial light bulb does come on, and guys figure out what they need to do to be successful. So the stuff is there. It's just a matter of him being able to figure out what to do with it at the major league level.
Trying to find the final out here in the 4th. Manzardo and Santana aboard, and Nolan Jones couldn't get to the fastball and evens the count. Martin joined the Orioles about the midway point of last season and told me in spring training that's where he really thought health and what he heard from pitching coaches and the organization's pitching department all really started to click at the same time. Good fastball at 95 miles an hour gets him in front. A long 5-year journey for Corbin Martin following surgeries. Took a long time for his body to get back into it. He had to come back from the injury and won in his throwing program. Realized his arm slot had changed a little bit, but he liked some of the results that he was seeing. He was getting positive feedback from the guys that he was facing during the rehab process, so he just kind of stuck with it.
Sometimes there's just a very subtle adjustment you can make. Sometimes it's just ends up have some success, and you start believing that you actually can do it, and then you can go out there and do it.
Santana was in motion on the 1-2 foul.
One thing you have to be able to have is you have to have conviction in what you're doing out there. The ability to just understand that you have to believe that what you're going to do is going to be successful. You can't hope that it's going to be successful. You just got to believe that it's going to happen.
That was part of the 5-year process for Martin, too. He said, I lack confidence because in the back of my mind, I thought that my health wouldn't hold up. Pulled towards first and past O'Hearn on the foul side. In the big leagues with the Diamondbacks, the Astros, and once again returning to Major League life here with the Orioles. It's a big pitching prospect between the Diamondbacks and the Astros and the Zach Greinke deal back in 2019. Santana with a juke away from first and a foul ball at the plate again. Santana trying to be a disruptor over at first base.
Yeah, I'm just really surprised. I mean, they're in a position right here. You got tying run at third base. You got a guy that doesn't have a lot of major league experience coming into a game here, this crucial situation. And, you know, if Martin's watching a little bit, he picks him off at first base quite easily.
Santana starts with a short lead at first here. And a swing and a miss at the slider. Jones goes into the glove. A strikeout for Martin to retire the side. One run in for Cleveland, tightens up the affair.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. Hot in the club, in love with the dub. Active, yeah, I'm free like a dove. In love with the bass, in love with the sub. In love with the energy I get from above. Hot in the club, in love with the dub. Active, yeah, I'm free like a dove. In love with the bass, in love with the sub. In love with the energy I get from above. Wheel it, take it back. Fire burning on the trap. Get down, make it clap. Like 1, 2 bars, we deal with that. Deal with that. Deal with that. Deal with that. Come around, family's here, come around. Good time, yeah, come around. Know this, yeah, come around. Come around, family's here, come around. Good time, yeah, come around. Know this, yeah, come around. Rhythm in the bass, rhythm in the bass, rhythm in the bass, rhythm in the bass, rhythm in the bass.
Hitting the hydration station early. That's the mobile unit that Ramon had. Top of the card with Jackson Holliday leading it off. Jordan Westburg and then Gunnar Henderson set to follow. Jackson singled and came in to score back in the first. Grounded out to second in the second. Takes a change low. Takes it up the middle. That eludes the body somehow of Bybee, and it slips into center field. That elevated the heart rate of Tanner Bybee quickly. Holliday's got his second hit.
He kind of gets it on the end of the bat. It wasn't hit necessarily scorched, but when you're only about 55 feet away after you deliver the pitch, it doesn't have to come back at you that fast, but it still gets on you really quick.
Here's Jordan Westburg, who snapped an 0-for-6 career mark against Bybee with a single in the first. Bybee evened up the rally with a strikeout his second time out. Let's see what the outcomes are. And the Oilers are looking to achieve in tonight's game presented by T. Rowe Price. Good things happen when Jordan Westburg is driving in runs. Double play ball out to Rocchio. Gobbles it up. Schneemann on the pivot. And on to first. 2 down. T. Rowe Price is the exclusive investment and wealth management partner of the Baltimore Orioles. Better questions, better outcomes with T. Rowe Price. Investment with confidence. Base is empty for Bybee as he stretches it out here in the 5th. Here's Gunnar Henderson. Last month and a half, he's been red hot. Drove home a run with a base hit back in the 1st inning, then came in to score. An 884 on-base plus slugging, 884 OPS since June 1st. That ranks 2nd in the big leagues for shortstops. Big cut to miss, out over the changeup. Only Ellie De La Cruz has had a better OPS than what Gunnar Henderson had. Remember, it was a little bit of a slow start coming off of the injury in spring training. The bat had to catch up through the first month of the regular season. There's been a couple of adjustments through the month of May, the start of June, and he's taken off since. Out in front of the plate, it's corralled as a fair ball. Henderson is arguing his case as he's tagged out by Naylor. Henderson is saying that was a foul ball. He's left stunned in the batter's box.
Yeah, if the ball doesn't hit him in the box and it spins back into fair territory, then it's still fair once the catcher touches it. So he was kind of pointing to the ground like the ball hit right here. It doesn't matter where it hit. It's where it's touched.
Tony Mansolino's going to usher his superstar shortstop out of the confrontation.
Hank Greenberg helped popularize the first baseman's myth.
In the third base bag, it's not where the ball hits. It can go fair, foul, whatever. Before the bag, it's where it's touched. It becomes fair or it becomes foul. And of course, past the bag, it's where the ball lands. And then once it hits in fair territory, if it rolls foul, then it's still fair ball. But before the bags, and clearly at home plate, it's before the bag. So that, yeah, it usually hits there on a with a little bit of top spin. And so it hit actually behind home plate and then jumped out in front of the bag or in front of the plate before the catcher was able to touch it. So it ends up fair ball.
Good adjustment by Ryan O'Hearn, handing that quick skipper off the bat of Schneemann to get out number 1. You could see Gunnar Henderson kind of gesturing down to where he felt that Naylor touched the ball, and that would have been on the foul side. But that's not the way that the crew chief Dan Bellino saw it. And looking at the replay, I think I think you got it right.
I think he did. The side replay is the key there, which we got a view of that, which showed that as Naylor reached out, he was actually either out over top of home plate or in front of it, and either one would have been fair territory.
1 up and 1 down for Corbin Martin, working in long relief for Tomoyuki Sagano. Sagano departs with 2 outs in the 4th inning. 3 of the 4 runs were earned on the right-hander. Another challenge for Ryan O'Hearn, and he'll jog it to the bag and get the second out. Well, it was a big day in the community for an Oriole great. Adam Jones was back at home in Baltimore, and the Orioles at Adam Jones hosted a clinic for members of Big Brothers. Everybody having a lot of fun at the clinic today. That ball smoked over the head of O'Neill to the seats, and it's going to go. Bo Naylor snapped his 0 for 18 with a base hit in the 2nd inning. He's got his 10th of the year to tie the game here in the 5th. The 2nd home run for the Guardians tonight, and it's a doozy.
That ball was crushed. Going to get a replay here, so breaking ball down, but for a strike.
Home run out of the number 9 spot for Bo Naylor. 5-5 score. Juan backs away, moves the count to 2 balls and no strikes. You know, you really wondered, where would the Guardians be able to find some offense with the departure of Josh Naylor? That's Bo's brother. He was sent to Arizona. Borderline fastball stays in tight, moves the count to 3 balls and no strikes. And I think the Guardians were way more hopeful to get offense from Lane Thomas. Now, Kinsey Noel, he's kind of disappeared. Had a massive home run in the postseason for the Guardians, but Stephen Vogt hasn't been able to find that big-time threat to go along with Jose Ramirez. And another 5-pitch walk. That's the 3rd time tonight that Stephen Kwan has been walked.
Yeah, you cannot continue to put that guy on base. You got 2 outs, so you know he's going to try to steal.
And it gets a move from Martin quickly. Successful in 11 of 13 attempts this season.
If a guy's batting .280 and he's got, 18 to 25 home runs at this point, then I can see being a little shy to maybe throwing him in there, especially if you get behind the count. But that's not the case with Kwan. You got to make him earn it.
Well, back-to-back disengagements pretty much ensures that Kwan's going to be on the move. Martinez still waiting on his first pitch. And it's over for a called strike. They're trying to rev him up here at Progressive Field. Well, that's the 3rd disengagement. That'll move the runner automatically. Already had back-to-back disengagements and maybe just a lapse.
Well, on the other hand, maybe you get him jumping, because if you pick him, you can pick him. You know what I mean? But if he goes back to the bag, now he automatically gets the So it's one of those deals where he's probably going to be safe anyway. Maybe I catch him where he jumps a little too soon and I get him picked.
And he runs it down in and dots Martinez. And Martinez is in some pretty good discomfort here. Got him on the inside of the knee. That's where he's pointing. Member of the medical staff out.
Yeah, not a lot of meat there. It gets you on the knee or the side of the knee, the kneecap or something like that. So he's okay. Little cutter or slider or something. Okay, actually got him. It did get him a little bit on the meaty part there, above the knee. You see right here. That actually looked like it got him a little bit lower, but on the other view we got, he's going to be fine.
There comes Tony Mansolino looking out to that bullpen gate. Make his 7th appearance of the year with the Birds. Wrapping up his warm-up tosses on this gorgeous night here in Cleveland. Pretty good crowd on this Monday evening as well. Launching the opener of a 4-game series.
And Selby's a strikeout, guys. In his minor league career and his brief major league career, he's averages over 10 strikeouts per nine, and the time with the Orioles so far over 12 per nine. So it's one of those deals where if he can come in and get a big strikeout here, I think that's why Mansolino's making that change.
Trying to use that live arm and see if they can retire Jose Ramirez.
Strikeout is on order right now. Let's see if we can come through.
2 down here in the 5th, a 5-5 game. And the fastball's outside again, and it's 2 balls and no strikes on the dangerous Jose Ramirez, who hit his 275th home run in his career back in the 1st inning. In the driver's seat, and he took a hack. Incredible production, recognition. 6 out of the last 8 seasons, he's finished in the top 6 in MVP voting. Selby's got 2 on. And a fastball at the knees evens the count.
96 right at the bottom of the strike zone. Now can he throw that 96 and maybe get it in a little bit, inner third of the plate there, try to freeze him.
The 2-2 with a breaking ball scooped up by O'Hearn. Finds Selby to get the out and retire the side.
That'll work.
Guardians knot us up 5 runs apiece on the Bo Naylor long ball. After the miscue on the corners by the Guardians. Ryan O'Hearn started the rally, getting that ball in play, leads off this 6th inning now in a 5-5 game. Tanner Bybee had been put on the ropes a couple of times tonight. He has survived 5, now into the 6th. And O'Hearn takes it the opposite way. Kwan backing up onto the warning track has room. Opposite field bid off the bat of Ryan O'Hearn. Just a long out.
He's only got 71 pitches.
Yeah.
That's amazing because he had obviously a really rough first inning. Faced 7 batters, gave up 3 runs, and had a rough 3rd inning too after the error and the home run by Laureano. He gets out of that inning, but now 72 pitches into the 6th inning. I never thought he'd have been around in the 6th inning.
This time missed low. It's 2 balls and no strikes on Ramon Laureano, who's had a loud night at the plate. Just showed you the 2-run homer, his 12th of the year. Knocked in a couple with a base hit back in that lengthy first. And he popped up the 2-0. Right behind the plate, Naylor, disgusted with the mask, now steps over it. He gave it a chuck after he located that ball, which it's that weird time of night where it gets a little bit more difficult to find a pop-up, especially if you're a backstop. And Stephen Vogt giving his catcher a little business.
And of course, once you find the ball and you toss the mask, you're supposed to toss it pretty good. That way you don't end up stepping on it. You can break an ankle or twist a knee or something like that by stepping on the mask. So you don't throw the mask until you find the ball first.
1-0 to Colton. And he was tied up at the fastball. 1 ball and 1 strike on Cowser. Bounced into a fielder's choice in the first inning, and then got caught looking in the third. Expected to pull with Schneemann and Santana. Shifted to the right. This one soars towards center. Circled by Martinez. And that is a fast 1-2-3 6th inning for Tanner Bybee. Forget surviving 5. He's cruising through. Being Manny. That's jolted down the right field line, and O'Neill looks up and it kicks off the top of the wall and gets out of here. The 3rd home run of the night for the Guardians breaks a tie game and gets Cleveland on top with Kyle Mazzardo's 16th of the year. A pair of home runs allowed by the bullpen tonight. Naylor tied it with his 10th. Manzardo gets the Guards on top 6-5. And Carlos Santana looks low and away from Colin Selby.
96.7 miles per hour. And it looked like it was maybe about 88 to the hitter. We talked about that earlier, how some fastballs, even though the velo's very high, it just hitters see it better off of certain pitchers than they do off of other ones, and that makes all the difference in the world.
Difference in versus out was 1 mile an hour. Kicks off the top of the fence, and the Guardians have come back from a 3-0 first inning deficit. Westbrook couldn't scoop it. Shoots past him on the left side, and Santana's aboard. He was positioned perfectly, expecting where the ball would go, but had a tough hop to read.
Yeah, he knew he was going to get an in-between hop there, so he tries to come in, reads it, and says, okay, well, it's going to be in between, so I'm just going to go ahead and try to smother it if I can. But he wasn't able to do that, so it gets by him.
Nobody down, runner at first. Here's Nolan Jones. He's been a strikeout victim all 3 times. Not the 4th, though. On a bounce, it's cut off by O'Neill. Santana chugging towards 3rd. He'll get there without the throw. And there's been some contact off of Selby here in the 6th. with the homer. A ball that banked off the glove of Westberg, and now a sharp single from Jones.
They are not missing the fastball. That ball's lined there in the right field, and O'Neill cuts it off, of course, but as you mentioned, he's able to go to third base there, first and third, still nobody out.
Daniel Schneemann, the batter. Tardy at 95. There's the live fastball. Even when it's middle, got enough giddy up. Schneemann, a pretty remarkable story. 33rd round draft choice out of Brigham Young. Kept climbing the ladder, got to the big leagues. Now 25 years old. 0 for 2 tonight.
It's a lot tougher for position players, too, the later round draft picks, because there's only so many positions on the field, and now they actually have less minor league teams. But like when I was playing, if you were a pitcher, there's so many injuries, and each team needs so many pitchers that somehow, some way, if you sign, you're probably going to get a chance to be able to prove what you can do. But as a position player, I saw guys that I played with in the minor leagues that looked like they were really good players, and they just sat on the bench, and you play once a week, and you go 0 for 2 or 0 for 3, and you strike out. And next thing you know, you start doubting yourself, and the next thing you know, a year and a half later, you're gone, and they bring in somebody else to sit the bench behind their prospects, so to speak, the guys who got to better bonuses or higher draft picks. So to be able to be a position player and be that late of a draft pick and be able to work your way up through the system and take advantage of whatever opportunities they give you, that's even more impressive.
Chase a pitch down to the dirt. He was the count of 2-2. I saw so many guys go through the wars, especially at AAA, where you've got the rising prospects and the bonus babies, and then you've got the prospects versus suspects. In a lot of cases, guys that are not only fighting for jobs year in and year out, but also just playing for the love of the game.
Yeah. Well, I was a suspect my whole career, but sometimes you can figure it out.
Big jump by the runner away from first. Double clutch by Jackson behind the plate. Gets the throw late as Jones swipes the bag.
Yeah, sometimes you don't. Whether you're figuring it out or whether they run out of other options, and again, that typically happens way more from pitchers. You see here as he took off and pitches a pretty good pitch right on the corner, calls it a ball.
A check swing bounder towards Holiday. Santana holds the bag at third, so they'll get the out easily at first base. So nobody moves. Schneemann bounces out. You can see the O's with the infield drawn in. Infield stays in tight. And Brian Rocchio takes up and away. Santana, the runner, at third. And behind him in scoring position, Jones. Rocchio singled to lead off the second inning. And he was stranded at third base when somehow Tomoyuki Sagano got out of a bases loaded, no out situation. That was really the best pocket of work by Sagano tonight, who would go on to retire 5 in a row. Big rip and a miss by Rocchio. And then the 2-out walk. Rocchio got plugged in the back. He bats for the 4th time tonight. And the fastball moves the count to 3-1. 3-1 coming. On a bounce, runners coming down the line, and they got Santana hung up. Jackson runs Santana back. Westberg now trucks him down the line. Selby applies the tag to get the out. Well, Santana, the first ball put into action, didn't break down the line. The second one, he made a bid for it, and Ryan O'Hearn, who had an errant throw the other night in Tampa, put it right on the money and hung Santana out to dry, and the O's get the out.
Yeah, he did, but Santana did the right thing. He stopped, and even though there's a runner at third base, he was able to stay in the rundown long enough for Rocchio to get to second base, and basically they're in the same situation they were before, but now there's 2 outs instead of just the 1.
And breathing a little easier with 2 down. Chip shot towards left, backpedaling Laureano, squares up, and that'll retire the side. Kyle Manzardo's solo home run to start off this 6th inning. The difference.
Summer's end, and you feel that this is your beginning. Well, colors fade, but it's okay. There is good in changes. Go run away, get it out of your system. Come back when you're older. Go find a place where you can't be the victim. And come back when you're older. Go catch the storm within your broken bones and be wild, 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 wild.
Is getting cranked up to return to the Orioles. Got some positive medical updates from Tony Mansolino coming out of the All-Star break. Tyler O'Neill with a humpback liner, laid on a bounce and thrown out at first base, leading off the top of the 7th inning. Cody Ashe off the left shoulder of the O's skipper. O's had a 3-0 lead. Guardians tied it in the bottom half of the inning. Birds went on top 5-3. Mullins trying to sneak his way on. But solo home runs in the 5th and the 6th have Cleveland on top 6-5. Mullins tonight retired at foul ground and in center. No balls and 2 strikes on Cedric. His next home run will be his 100th in his career, and he'll join Brady Anderson and Paul Blair as the only 3 Orioles to have 100 or more home runs and 100 or more stolen bases.
Pretty good company.
Really good company.
I'll take that homer right here.
It would certainly be timely. Lays off the high fastball. Grant Wolfram loosening in the bullpen. Mullins into the glove. 2 down. Bobby against Alex Jackson for the 3rd time tonight. Lined out hard to left. Down swinging in the 4th. Next pitch for Bobby will be his 85th. Tons of cutters and four-seam fastballs, sinkers. He's just been pounding the zone. Simple game.
Isn't it?
If looks could kill from you, man, oh man. Woo.
Simple game. I'm like, yeah, I don't think so.
Throw strikes, change speeds. Oh, yeah. Sure, Ben.
Never found it so simple.
Yeah.
You catch the ball, you throw the ball, you hit the ball.
1-2 to Jackson. 2 long hops handled by Ramirez. And on to first to retire the side. Somehow, some way, Tanner Bybee has cleared 7 frames. Make decisions in game. Is that the end of the game? Is it more of a check-in? We're going to find out, but it looked like Carl Willis was relaying the message.
Sounds like he's high maintenance to me.
A bunt on the first baseline, trickling over the chalk. Good read by Alex Jackson from behind the plate. Quan trying to sneak his way on after being walked 3 times tonight.
Yeah, good decision there by Jackson because Quan's going to beat that out. And as we had to play earlier, of course, against Gunnar, where it hit foul territory, came in the fair, and they touched it. Well, Gunnar's still standing in the box, so you want to touch that ball and then tag him out. But there, by the time Jackson was going to get to that ball up the line, if he picks it up, Quan's going to beat it out. So, fortunately, let it go foul. Yeah.
Cade Smith loosening in the bullpen for Cleveland as the conversation continues with Bybee. Now he's chatting up a member of the pitching department. Curveball dropped in from Wolfram for a called strike, and it's 0-2. Wolfram trying to go through 1, 2, 3 in Cleveland's batting order. That's a liner over second, a base hit. 4th time that Quan's been aboard tonight. He earns it this time.
Yeah, nothing wrong with that. Of course, when he walks 3 times, he's seen a whole bunch of pitches, so you're feeling pretty comfortable, even though those pitches weren't necessarily against Wolfram and even a left-hander for that matter. But he's probably seen 20 pitches tonight.
Hit hard into left field. Laureano can't play the short hop. Lost it for a moment. Quan digs for third, and into second, popping up with a double is Angel Martinez. Another extra base hit for Angel Martinez.
Well, Laureano does everything he can. You see here the pitch is up, inner half of the plate. So Laureano, as he sees he's not going to be able to make the play, he goes into security mode there, like, okay, well, I got to somehow, some way just try to keep it in front of me, which he does, actually. And therefore, holds him to a double at second and third and nobody out. But that ball gets by him. It's probably a triple or maybe even, for that matter, an inside the park home run.
And with nobody out, first base open, 4 fingers from Tony Mansolino. Ramirez gets the intentional pass.
Yeah, that's a no-brainer there.
Mansolino pretty emphatic, too, in what he wanted Drew French to relay. Players a lot, but Fry had to have it after the postseason concluded for Cleveland. He's only been DHing this season. He drove home 3 runs with a double yesterday in the win over the Athletics. Wolfram to Fry, and misses with a firm fastball. Quan, the lead runner at third. Martinez behind him, and Ramirez, who got the intentional pass on at first to load him up. Fry breaks his bat. Henderson fields it, comes home, a force play to get the out. In motion, the longer throw towards the plate to ensure the out. And a good job by Jackson setting up and keeping his toe on the dish.
Yeah, understanding that it's just a force play, so he's got to make sure his right foot is on home plate. But you can see the bat breaks there, and sometimes even because of the white part of the bat there, that can kind of be deceiving to the fielder. But Gunnar looks the ball into his glove. He's out by a long shot at home on the force play.
There's a lot going on at Gunnar Henderson. He's got the bat helicoptering in the middle of the diamond. The ball just clears the pitcher. He's ducking out of the way.
Right, as he's throwing it off balance. Yep, a lot going on.
Bases stay loaded. The switch hitting Carlos Santana. Gets a fastball in the inside corner. Santana drove home a run in the 4th inning. Picked up an infield single after striking it off the glove of Westberg in the 6th. Then got caught in that wild rundown. And he sold out on that swing. It falls behind 0-2.
A little fastball inside on the first one, and then a tailing fastball at 97 on that one there. Boy, a double play would be fantastic right here.
Most of the power as a left-handed hitter. 7 of the 11 home runs for Santana. There he is batting right-handed and down on strikes. 3 straight firm fastballs from Wolfram. Inside, out, and then back inside at 97 to get the strikeout.
I couldn't have located 3 pitches any better right there. I mean, he goes in, then he goes away, and then right back in again. Ties him up pretty good. All right, make a couple pitches here. Lefty on lefty.
Fastball's high from Wolfram. Orioles tonight trying to get out of their second bases loaded, no out situation. Sagado did it earlier. The starter, Bybee, looking on. The 1-0 off the outside edge.
Well, he didn't want to do that. Not with the bases juice. 2-0. He's just look for one pitch in one spot right here.
Swing and a miss. Jackson out of the crouch looking to throw. Ramirez has got a pretty big lead away from second.
Yeah, I think if he throws through, we might actually have him. Sometimes that's tough, though, because you got to throw it through the pitcher.
Guardians have left a battalion on base tonight. Oh, that's it tight. Ooh. That almost hit the hands. Almost hit the bat. Might have been an easy out. Got to make a pitch here. Sacks packed. And a 3-1 outside. And a run walked in. Bases loaded walk. Gets the Guardians a 2-run lead.
I mean, it's a close pitch, but once you go 3-1, he doesn't have to swing at it. He can take a chance on it being called a ball or actually being a ball, which it was.
This is Daniel Schneemann. Lined out, grounded out twice, and walked. Ball to strike on Schneemann, the number 7 hitter. That's the situation with 2 down. And a fastball over the bottom bar of the zone. The 1-2. High and tight. And again, Jackson looking to throw. A little quicker retreat by Ramirez at third base. And Zardo, the runner at second. Jones over at first. Did he go? Did not. Long-time Major League umpire Phil Cuzzy down the third baseline. And now it gets interesting.
Ooh, that could have been called. It's been called before.
This carousel ready to turn. And a fastball's outside. And the second base is loaded walk. Nets the Guardians a run. Back-to-back free passes with the bases loaded.
Over the plate, or just not trusting it and trying to throw it, the perfect pitch and getting behind and throwing balls. That just drives me crazy.
The 8th batter of this 7th inning. Rocchio singled his first time up, got hit by a pitch, grounded out and bounced into a fielder's choice. Now with the bases loaded. Fastball is over to even the count at 1. Fry, Jones, and Schneemann. Feels like this entire inning has had the bases loaded. And it's lined into left field, and the Guardians are going to tack on a couple more. A little juggle by Laureano takes away any shot to cut down the second run, and it gets Rocchio easily into second after drilling home a pair. The Guardians have dug themselves out of a 3-0 deficit to double up Baltimore tonight, 10-5.
But he just hasn't thrown enough strikes where he can get them to have to chase anything out of the zone. So they're just basically waiting for him to throw something over the plate that they can look for, and because for the most part they've been behind the count and hitters have been ahead.
Fastball clips the corner, and a called strike on the 9th hitter of this inning. Rocchio will get credited with a 2-run single. He'll get to second on the misplay by Laureano. Four-run 7th. Schneemann and Rocchio in scoring position. Naylor vaults it high, shallow to right. Tough time of night. Holiday finds it, stays with it, and retires the side. 9 men come to the plate. A couple come in on bases loaded walks, and a dagger from Rocchio. here in northern Ohio. Kobe Allard out of the bullpen will make his 19th appearance after Tanner Bybee was fantastic. Maybe not as sharp at the start as what he finished, but man, did he ever figure it out, make some adjustments, and then clear 7 frames of ball tonight.
He did. It's not really about how you start, because especially as a starting pitcher, you can figure it out. Right the ship somehow, some way through the second, third, fourth inning, give your team a chance to win. He did more than that. Gave him some length, going 7 innings. Clearly gave his team a chance to win, and right now they're up big.
Jackson Holliday with 2 of the 6 Oriole hits tonight. Fouls away the 1-1. There's Tanner Bybee, who retired 12 of the final 13 that he faced over 7 frames.
The big number right there is the walks. The Orioles have walked everybody, and he didn't walk a batter.
4 of the 6 hits were in the first inning off of Bybee as well. The actual number tonight is 8. 8 walks.
That's almost everybody.
That is almost everybody. Tomoyuki Sagano with 3 2/3, allowed 4 runs. Bybee hugging it out after his day is done. One, 2. Strike 3.
Right at the top of the strike zone.
Holiday checking in on the location.
Stepping in now for the Orioles, third baseman, Jordan Westberg.
Well, no surprise. You got Holiday, then Henderson and Ryan O'Hearn coming up, all left-handed batters. So Allard summon. Here's the one righty in his pocket. Westberg came in on the 2-run base hit by Ramon Laureano back in the first. It was 3-0 Birds, then 3-3 after 1. 5-3 Orioles on top in the third inning on the 2-run homer by Laureano. The fourth inning, in which the 2-out error eventually then Carlos Santana drove home the run in the fourth inning. Significant, yes, but it seems like Bo Naylor's home run is really the shot that put life back into the Guardians. 2 balls and 2 strikes on Westberg.
I agree. I thought that one, from a guy who's batting 170, 180 something, and he rockets one down the line for the home run, and I was like, ugh, that's not good. That was kind of got the crowd back into it a little bit.
21,748 watching the opener between these two clubs. Now a beautiful night under the lights. Swing and a miss by Westberg. Back-to-back strikeouts by Allard.
And there's a fastball at the overpowering fastball velocity of 90.
Big rip at that 90. Strike 1 on Henderson, who drove home a run back from first.
I would have to say that his perceived velocity is a little bit higher than 90, because the rips that they've had at it have looked like they're a little bit late on it. Yet the velocity is a below average Major League fastball.
Broke his bat, flared it to center. Retreating Rocchio runs it down. Allard's through the Birds. 1, 2, 3. 7.5 gone by here in Cleveland. Guardians have doubled up the Orioles.
And I'm tired of seeing Stephen Kwan. And it's only the first game.
You're not alone. There's about 29 other teams in the circuit that don't like to see this guy either. Wolfram couldn't get the call on the wide fastball. Kwan tonight has been walked 3 times, and then he had a single. And now he evens the count at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Ryan O'Hearn down at first. Taking the opposite way, and another time that Kwan will reach. He's been on base 5 times tonight. Absolutely stuffing the stat sheet. It's hard to do in baseball. Goes where it's pitched, takes it into left. His appearance tonight was in question. He's really been battling a wrist injury. Missed the series against Oakland coming out of the... Oops, I did it. That's a quarter. That's pulled foul. I was so good. I was so good all season long.
That's not as bad as me almost saying the Indians like 4 times today. I mean, they haven't been the
I like how you
They haven't been the Indians for
twice.
a long time.
Now you just dropped it twice. Yeah. David. Towards third, hugging the line. 1 play for Westberg, and that's go to the opposite corner. Good footwork by O'Hearn. Kwan will reach second uncontested. Martinez runs pretty well. About the runner.
Yeah, you're right. And that was real nice.
Sharp shot, smothered by Westberg. And on to first, 2 down. Ramirez retired. David Fry's second at bat. Hit into a fielder's choice coming off the pine. Action of the bullpen for the 9th. Ryan O'Hearn, Ramon Laureano, And Colton Cowser scheduled to come up. Hunter Gaddis has worked a lot, too. That'll be his 42nd appearance. Watch out. Right under the bill of Fry's cap. Look at the dip from last season to this season, 18th to 29th, but tonight, a 500 OBP. Strike three on the fastball in the inside corner. Fry goes down looking. We have completed 8 in Rock City. O's with a lot of work to do. Go.
You spin my head like the earth around the sun. And what you do had me jumping deep inside. I love you real as you read me like you read it. Undo my brow, no you never will forget it. I'm a like, I'm a like, I'm a like, I'm that it. And an under, and an under, and an under in the past. And what I bring will never disappoint you. So come along, baby, you.
Timely home runs. And then doubling up the Birds 10-5 as we go to the ninth. And Hunter Gaddis making his 42nd appearance of the year. We'll try to go through 4, 5, and 6 in the O's order.
Well, he was a workhorse for the Indians last year, and they're doing it to him again this year. Not quite having the same season, although the season he had last year, I don't know how you repeat that one.
I don't know how a lot of those guys have repeat seasons. You know, Emmanuel Clase, Cade Smith, Hunter Gaddis leaned on a ton in high leverage situations. They're just not as sharp this season. And of course, they need to be sharper. There's Emmanuel Clase, whose name has interestingly come up in trade conversation.
Well, Gaddis was in 78 games last year. We were talking about almost every other game. That wears on you. You need some time. It's not about the innings. It's because he only pitched in 74 2/3 innings. But when you're coming in there and you're trying to throw a mid-90s fastball and you're in almost every other game, that means you've pitched in a bunch of back-to-back situations as well. That's tough to do.
That'll complete the strikeout as it bounds away from Naylor with a long chuck down to first. And O'Hearn is retired.
Not happy, yeah.
And he just got chucked. Bill Cuzzy threw him out after getting rung up.
Right, he had to. Because the umpire couldn't just turn around. Knowing that he's frustrated, their players are frustrated. He calls a check swing. That's the same thing that there was not a check swing called on a Cleveland batter earlier. And all he's got to do is turn the other way, let the player vent. Nobody cares. It'll be gone. Nobody cares about it. But instead, he's got to throw him out of the game.
Those have had a player tossed in back-to-back games. Yesterday it was Ramon Laureano that got heaved. Ramon was the spark plug earlier. Ramirez on the backhand. 2 down. O's and Guardians under the lights tomorrow night. You can say hello to Rob Long at 6 o'clock. Dave and I will join you at 6:30. We'll tee it up for Game 2 of this 4-game series. Joey Cantillo and Brandon Young, your pitching matchup. Lefty for Cleveland. A 1-0 mark with an ERA a little bit above 4. Cowser turns away from a good fastball. Brandon Young still searching for his first major league win. That one's over. Hand called a strike. Evens the count at 1-1. It's thinned out a little bit tonight. Goes down to their final strike. One, two. Fastball is a little high. Both these ball clubs will play their 100th game tomorrow night. Cowser pulls it foul. Guardians' victory draws them within 1 game of the 500 mark. Shallow and left. Ramirez, Ramirez with a fantastic tumbling grab to finish the ball game.
That's a great play. That's just a great play.
Tumbling into shallow left, hung with the play, wraps up a come-from-behind win for the Guardians. 10-5 after it looked good with the Birds in front. 3-0 and 5-3. But home runs by Bo Naylor, Kyle Manzardo, and then a lot of walks tee up the rally in a big 7th inning for Cleveland as they tack on 4 more, and they roll in a series opening victory 10-5. Coming up, O's Extra. Dave Johnson will share his thoughts. On behalf of our entire Masson crew, I'm Ben Wagner, passing the baton for the rest of the night